Morning, folks. Must be Monday. How's everybody doing? So, remember last week I did a little video there where I was in panic zone and talking about hating editing and all that stuff. Guess what? It gave me the impetus, and people messaged me and gave me words of encouragement. I busted my butt, and I completed. I finished it. I finished it. Oh, it's such a relief. And it was before Burqa, which is awesome. I'll get into Burqa in a minute. So, book number 2, which is entitled Blood Water, is now complete. It is going into typesetting and formatting, but all of the writing stuff is done, complete, fini. And so, what I'm going to do is at the end of this video, I'm going to read a little bit from the first chapter of the book. So I know at the end of the first book there's kind of like a little blurb that leads you into the second book, but it's not right at the very beginning. So you're going to get something pre-publication. So stick around to the end of the video and you'll get to hear the first words of the second book, and you'll be the first people to hear it other than my test readers. See how awesome I am? Isn't this fantastic? Absolutely. So, yeah. So reaching out to you guys actually helped a lot in my working my way through those last 100 or so pages of the book. I was so frustrated and I just really wanted to gouge my brain out with a grapefruit spoon. I had reached the end of my rope, and then I sat down and pushed and got it done. I feel very accomplished right now, and I'm very excited. So I'm thrilled. The book hopefully will be out probably not by the end of the month, but you never know, maybe with Create's Kindle Direct Publishing, sometimes it comes out really fast. They have to do a bunch of stuff in between, and I have to have the cover done and whatnot. So I have designed by Starla doing the cover for the second book. It's fantastic, and Starla is an awesome and amazing person. She did some really fantastic artwork for the first book, and she has continued that with the second book. And unlike some people who do covers, I gotta say, Starla actually pays really close attention to what the author is telling her about the characters. And so Alex is on the front cover of the second book, and I've managed to loosen my death grip on her enough that you actually get to see Alex's face. So yeah, I'm really wicked excited. I'm looking forward to getting that out to you guys, and you'll be able to read the further adventures of Alexander Taylor and her travels in the vamposphere. That's an exciting thing. Now, some of you might be wondering about the lovely Babushka. I'm gonna take the headphones off so I can show you in here. So I'm styling this morning because this is it's my birthday this coming weekend. I turn 49. I turn old on Sunday, so I will be at Burqa. If you are at Burqa in downtown at the Doubletree Hotel in Manchester, New Hampshire, you can stop by and say hi. I'll be probably at Harold's Point for much of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it'll kind of differ depending on what I have duties and stuff that I have to perform, because I'm like the herald for Stone Marsh, which is New Hampshire. So I will be running around and doing crazy things. But I will be there. I'll have some books with me. And so if you want to buy some of the first book, I still have, I think, 6 copies with the original cover that I designed. And then I don't have any of the new cover yet, but you can get that on Amazon. And if you have a book that you want signed, you can bring it. I will happily do that. But yeah, Sunday is my birthday, so I'm going to be celebrating with the boyfriend and having lots of fun, and I get to spend the whole weekend hanging out with, like 8,000 of my favorite friends, and it's just a good thing. If you've never been to Burqa, this is an indoor SCA, which is the Society for Creative Anachronisms event, which is held. We take over the whole hotel, top to bottom. We dress up in medieval clothes. The market is ostensibly based on a market in Burqa, which is in Sweden, or I can't remember, one of the Norse places. Anyway, I apologize, my brain is farting, but we have tons and tons of vendors. It's If you want to buy a harp, you can get one there. If you want to buy a leather quiver for your arrows, you can buy there. If you want to buy arrow making supplies, you can buy it there. If it's something that was used, made, or done in the Middle Ages, there's probably either bits and pieces of it so that you can make it yourself, do it yourself, buy it completed to use it at your event, whatever. There's so much. Last year I watched our old Baroness actually did bought a stool that is a backpack, so she can wear it on her back and she can like wander around, and then when she's tired she put it down and sit on it, and it stores stuff inside it. I thought that was such an awesome idea, and it's not huge, but it was enough to carry, a drink and a snack and some suntan lotion so that you're not looking too anachronistic. um, I will probably be there in Viking garb on Friday and Sunday, and 14th century garb on Saturday, just because I like wearing 14th century stuff for doing court, because that's when heraldry really kind of came into its own thing. And I like those dresses and they're comfortable. But we'll see. I might do 14th century all weekend. I haven't decided yet. There's all sorts of things going on. I hope you'll come out and visit. It's a lot of fun, and you can meet tons of awesome people and do lots of fun and exciting things. So there's that. Next thing is the cookbook. So the cookbook editing will start just as soon as I have sent Bloodwater off to the publisher. So once I click the send button and all the typesetting is done and all of the graphics are done and all the cover and all the rest of that stuff, once everything is done, then I'll be starting on the cookbook. And I'm thinking that's going to go a little bit faster just because of it. It's nonfiction. The editing process is different for nonfiction. So I think that will turn out quite well. I'm excited, and I have a lot of people who are very happy about the book. Yeah. I think I brain farted. This was made by my grandson. So this is my inner Babushka coming out. I'm all over the place today. There's not enough coffee this morning. That's my problem. All right. So where else am I? Finishing books is a lot of fun and is a level of relief that I cannot even begin to describe. I'm really actually finding myself excited to edit the cookbook, but I'm also excited because I have other story ideas in my head. And once I have Bloodwater and the cookbook off my plate, I can play with new ideas, and I'm wicked excited about that. I will be this summer with House Serenity and a bunch of other people. I will be at the New Hampshire Ren Fair, which is the second and third week of May. And you'll see this if you look on my author page, or I'll put things up on there. So there's the New Hampshire Ren Fair, which is the second and third weekend of May. And you know what? It's over, one of the weekends is over Mother's Day, and we get a lot of people who bring their moms to the Ren Fair. You can get dressed up and have fun, or you can just come in street clothes and hang out and have a lot of fun. Buy your mom some cool jewelry, or a handmade shawl, or take her and get giant turkey leg. It's such a fun thing to do, and it's very interactive, and there's lots of music and crazy people and face painting and like so much stuff. I will be probably at Great Northeastern War, which is up in Maine, and I'm not working that. I'm just going to be going and hanging out. I will be at the Maine Ren Fair, which is the old Maine Ren Fair, which is now the new Maine Ren Fair, for the first weekend. And that's the third weekend of July. The Maine Fair goes on to the last weekend of July, but I have the Massachusetts Ren Fair for the last weekend in July and the first weekend in August. So I will be at the Maine Ren Fair. and I'm not working it. I mean, not really. I'm going to be patroning, as it were. I will be dressed up and running around and having fun, but I'm not actually going to be volunteering, and I will be paying to get in. My boyfriend works it, and so I'm going to go and stalk him and hang out with some friends and just have a fun weekend. So um, I think it will be good and it will be relaxing. And then I'll be right off to the Massachusetts Ren Fair, and I'll be there for 2 weekends. And if you want to come to that, I really highly recommend it. New Hampshire Ren Fair is awesome because it's a nonprofit. The money that you pay at the door goes to Meals on Wheels in Rockford. It goes to the New Hampshire Food Bank and a couple of other charities that they do so much good. I volunteer my time there for free and for nothing, and I clean toilets and I do garbages and stuff because I love what they do so much. And so they're kind of like my where my heart is. But I love the Mass Ren Fair because it's a little step away from the historical accuracy. Our section, we do historical fighting, and my group Serenity has like an herb table, and we talk about the spice trade and sewing and stuff like that. But the rest of the fair is like very fairy oriented, and they have like this ongoing story from year to year, and it's fantastic and exciting, and they get the kids involved and they get the adults involved, and people come back year after year, and it's so much fun. And unlike the New Hampshire Ren Fair, they have something called the Market After Dark. So what it is if you are 21 or older, when you go in, you can show your ID at the gate. They will double check it, make sure everything is good, and you will get a wristband which states that you are okay to drink mead or whatever else. And you can stay when the fair closes at about 6, 5 or 6. Everybody else leaves with their kids. The adults stay, and there are some more risque shows. There's a wet chemise contest, and usually there's a cleavage contest, and we have fire dancers, and we have excuse me, belly dancers, and just tons of fun stuff. And it's just a little more adult, and there's a little bit of drinking, and people have a lot of fun, and it's such a blast. I highly recommend coming out to that. Come be with the Rennies. We have a lot of fun, and we're really relaxed. Oh, all right. I've been on here for 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes. I am going to finish up my thing today with the first few paragraphs of the first chapter of the second book. The first chapter is called Prelude. The nightlife in Vancouver was always exciting. The inner city was full of restaurants, tourist traps, museums, bookstores, and coffee shops, all stacked onto and around one another like interlocking Legos. People streamed in and out of the Granville Island public market, through Gastown with its beautiful steam clock, and among the various theaters. Couples strolled the well-lit and politely policed paths of Stanley Park, enjoying the pretentious pageant of stars spilling across the sky above. The music of a local band wove its magic among the spreading branches of the massive, gnarled oak tree near the miniature railway. Farther into the dark recesses of the park lurked more dangerous things, though. They hid away from the lights and the humanity, away from the comforting presence of the uniformed keepers of peace. Hiding among the alleyways and at the docks, skulking among the worst parts of the urban ghetto and the dirtiest corners of the business parks, were beings that lived on blood and fear. I was one such predator. I was stalking my prey at a popular bar that evening. I watched the frenetic crowd with narrowed, cautious eyes. I skirted the edges of the teeming throng and clung to the shadows, eyes never leaving my quarry. Despite the number of people, I was not noticed, unheard, ignored. Her hair was the color of maple leaves in autumn, an unparalleled blend of natural reds, oranges, and yellows. Looking at her, I could almost smell the autumn bonfire her hair resembled. Her eyes sparkled with attitude and amusement. They promised an internal fire that matched her hair. She was unaware of the silent death that followed her. Her Rubenesque curves clung to the dark gray dress she wore, and her hips swayed from side to side as she made her way off the dance floor and toward the bathrooms. I followed after her, death on silent and invisible feet. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So there you have it. You have heard the first few chapters of the book. I'm excited. I want it out there. I want everybody to read about the fiery redhead and all the stuff that's going on in the stories. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this. And I apologize that the second book has taken so long to get out, but it will be soon. We have finished the editing process. Yes. Have yourselves a great week. Okay. Touch base with me. Talk to me. Tell me where you're at. Comment. I think it's down here. Is if you want to get subscription, if you want to subscribe, there's a little tiny button down here somewhere that says subscribe, and it'll tell you when I'm doing my videos, and you can watch live. So I love you guys. Have a great week, and you take care of yourself, okay?